Good morning, good morning, good morning, my Jazzy fam. Whew, this video is a day late. I was supposed to do the video yesterday, but I decided to do it early in the morning, like today. So, y'all, it'll be a fresh listen. And so, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it for y'all. And it took up from episode 1. And this is just a question or a statement that I'm just gonna pose to y'all. All right. So with Reg causing all kinds of issues, right? Would you rather him be locked up or would you rather him be unalived? Mm, okay. Okay. Mm, okay. So we're gonna start with this portion too. Reg believes that Reg believes that Jake is not hard enough to kill. Hold on. Jake believes that oh boy, it's not hard enough to kill him. And this is Nook, right? So, like I was saying, we're gonna take up from the end of episode 1. Everything always is a damn joke. And I'm talking about Reg, because Reg always be laughing at everything. Everything is not a joke, Reg. Okay. And then we get to Emmett, Devontae, which is his son, and the social worker. And then she is at the house, of course. And then remember, Devontae brought Emmett's pow pow to school, his weapon to school. And then he will have to not get into fights. This is what the social worker says. He has to not get into fights. And he has to no missing curfew either. And then if he does, then he will have to serve 1 year in juvenile detention. Hmm. Okay. And Devontae, he not trying to hear that at all. Just being a rambunctious child, right? Okay. And then we get into Nut, and he is talking to Bakari about his book. And then Bakari said that he did not sell anything. And then Nook asked, did you say anything and use names? Then Nook says that the book will sell when you die. And I'm like, God dang, Nook. I mean, he probably right. Because that's how it works in reality society, real society. Hey, look at Tupac. Look at Biggie. But Tupac was selling before his unalivement. And I'm not so sure about Biggie because I just wasn't a fan of Biggie. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Okay. Hmm. But get back to Nook's negative ass. And then Nook asked, is Bakari pillow talking? And then Bakari said, no, I'm not. Then he said he asked him, was he pillow talking with Tiffany, right? And then Nook says that she knows what he wants her to know. Then Bakari asks, does Tiff know about you unaliving Rob? And Nook says, hell to the no, 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 no. And Bakari says he does not have nothing to worry about. Nook tells Bakari that he has nothing to worry about. Then Bakari says that he is not going. Then Nook says that he is not going to kill him. Then again, Bakari, because see, the whole thing is Nook just trying to pretty much make sure that his tracks is covered and all that stuff. And I'm like, but you supposed to be hard, nut. You supposed to be hard. You shouldn't be worried about if your tracks are covered and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then it's just a thing of he trying to see if he put names in the book and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, if he put your damn name in the damn book, then it'll just serve you because you something else. Then Bakari is loyal, and he said that no, he don't have nothing to worry about. Then Nux says that he is not going to kill him. And then I'm like, think again, Bakari, because think about it. Pastor Stanley Jackson, Pastor Zeke, his cousin Zay. Really now, Bakari, don't be stupid. He will peel you. He'll peel him. Excuse me, he'll peel him off the face of the earth. And then we can get next. And then we get to Keisha's mom. Keisha, Keisha's mom, and she wants to take EJ full time. This Tiffany's mom, and she wants to take, EJ full time. And then she believes that neither her or Emmett are, doing a good job at raising him. Then Tiff's mom says that she does not want to go through the courtroom and the legal paperwork and all that stuff. And she said that she'll just do it. And the decision is all on Tiffany since she is, the custodial parent. And it is looking like her mom will be stepping up to raise baby EJ. And then we get to Jake and Vic. And he tells Vic that Reg came in his home. And then he pulled out the pow pow on him. And of course, it did not work out how he wanted it to work out. And this what he telling his big brother. This what Jake is telling his big brother Vic. Okay. Then Vic said, when you pull out a strap or you pull out a weapon, you always better be prepared to use it, which is true. Which is true. And that's why I think that Reg tries to punk him, tries. He do punk him. And he laughs because he know that it'll be hard for Jake to unalive him. That's just a messed up situation, but I think that's why I know that's why Reg be laughing. Next, we get back to Emmett, Keisha, Nuck, and Tiff. And excuse me, they decided to let EJ go with his grandmother so that he can get the attention and the love that he needs. And, Tiffany's mama don't like Nuck. And I'm surprised that she didn't try to take him in the first episode. But I mean, it's just gonna be a bad, bad situation. And unfortunately, her mama didn't raise her, but she feel like she'll be able to do more good, to baby EJ, which she will. And it's a thing of Tiffany didn't have time for the boy. Tiffany didn't have time for her own son. I'm just gonna be all the way honest. She didn't. She didn't because she running behind men. Okay, so he'll get the love and the attention at his grandmother's house. And next, Patience, which is Shad, and Vic's lawyer. And she found Nora. And it is found out who was behind all of this pain. And it's Rosalind. And she paid Patience to help. Then it is all working out. And also, she will get the elevator footage also. Okay? Next. And then we have new character. And his name is Smitty. And he is a reform gang member. and he used to, be in the gang with Nuck, right? And he knows Nuck, the 63rd mob. Uh-huh. And then Nuck, he needs him. But since Rafi then turned on him and trying to switch up and go work for Reg, so we already see how that's gonna turn out. Probably we already see how that's gonna turn out. And then Jake and Bakari, Papa, are looking, looking to throw the party the right way. And Reg is seeing the advertisement and all that. And of course he always in Reg fashion, he always wanna come take over something. And he is planning to crash that party. And the party is gonna be at a nightclub. And then he want his crew. He gonna bring his crew so he can set up so they can sell product and they can sell everything that they need to sell. So selfish. So selfish. That's why I don't like Red's character. Because he do too much. And then he be acting like a bad child. Like he didn't get enough time. Like he was fighting for love. And he not the baby. He's definitely not the baby. It's the youngest one, excuse me, yeah. The youngest one is Jake. Cause it's Jake, he the youngest, then it's Reg, and then it is Vic, aka Victor Trigg. Okay. So we get to another scene. And the final return of Fatima. You remember Victor's ex, Fatima? Uh-huh. And Fatima circumstances have changed, and she has lost her job, and then looks like she's gonna be leaning on Reg a lot, and with her being in a situation where she's struggling and doing some illegal things to survive. And we honestly don't want that for Fatima because I really liked Fatima's character, and she was a good girlfriend to Reg. Not Reg, Vic. Anyway, next. So we get to Amaya. This is another new character. Amaya is Smitty's girlfriend. And she said that she needs someone to take care of her, and she needs someone that's going to be, able to just show her the way. And then she is connected to, now listen to me, she connected to Rafi. And how she is connected to Rafi is because Rafi is her child's father. But Smitty is her boyfriend. Uh-huh. And she says that she's considering rekindling the romance and stuff like that because like I said, she said that she needs that stability. She needs the stability. And she not getting the stability with Smitty because he ain't bringing in that income like that. And then she said that she pretty much wanted to get put a cut to Rafi because she says that he is living better than her. And then Rafi went ahead and snatched her up. hmm And Smitty do not like Rafi. Now you know who Smitty is supposed to be was connected to because he was in prison behind that 63rd mob. He connected to um he's connected to, I just told y'all he connected to. He connected to Reg. And he was doing a bid behind all that gang stuff and all that. So that's the connection. And it's one that don't like Smitty, do not like Rafi. And we know why. hmm Next. And Keisha and Emmett, they say that they will homeschool Devontae. And then they have a conversation letting him know the rundown and what they gonna be doing moving forward. And they have parent talk. with Devontae. And I think that's the best thing for him because I mean he feel like he not getting no love neither. And rightfully so. Because unfortunately Emmy got a lot of kids. He got a lot of kids. It ain't nothing wrong with him having a bunch of kids, but I mean he gotta tap into that one. The one that he got in his home, Devontae. And I think the homeschool will be good for him. Okay. And next, and finally, we get to Papa, Jake, and Bakari, and they all are at the party. And it is going good. And then a local comedian, Damian Williams, he is there, entertaining the crowd and things like that. And then Lene introduces Jake to her friend Desiree. And she another character, and she is an Instagram IG influencer. And it's like keep him away from Reg. Cause you know how Reg be. He always be in competition. And then speaking of him, he outside in the line and Jake goes outside to let him in before he told that he was outside. And then he goes out to let him in. And then, he is trying to eliminate a bad thing. And, he don't want to have, because, Jake is sweet. And he don't want to have issues and he don't want to have beef with his brother. And he said he want to make things a little bit better. But with Reg, nothing is never better. All right, we finna dig into a little bit more next though. And we get back to Victor. And then they saying that they saw who came to see him. And now these the people in the prison with him. And then the inmates, they saying they saw who came to see him. And Fatima is transgender and he had a couple of transgender girlfriends. Vic did. But I actually like them. I like his girlfriends. And you know how the prisoners, they saw what was going on, and then of course they was talking all they shit and shit like that. And then it end up being a fight. Okay? And Victor beat the damn ass. He beat the old boy up. When I say he beat him up, he beat him up. Okay? Next, we get back to Patience, and she is in the hospital looking at the elevator footage. Okay, and it's looking good for both Sean and Vic. Hopefully, and I say hopefully because I don't know if it's gonna be held against Vic, the fight and all this stuff, and then that'll stop him from getting out and things like that. And I hope it ain't gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad for Sean too. Okay. So I'm just gonna hope and pray that that ain't the case for them. All right. So we get back to Emmett and his dad Darnell, and they talking about the happenings that's going on with Devontae. And then Darnell says that we all make mistakes, true. And then he apologizes to Emmett about not being there for him and being the best father for him. Okay. And then they have a little heart to heart moment. And then Emmett forgives him because Emmett is sweet too. Very sweet. So he not a gangster. And that's the ones based off what I'm saying. The ones that are not hard is I'm sorry, Jake. But I don't think Jake is either. If he have to. If he has to be hard. And if he's pushed to do things, he'll do it now. But he not a real gangster. He really not. His brothers are, unfortunately. Reggie is he kinda, maybe. But Victor is the OG Dun Dog because he the one who started it, Trig. I mean, he was about that life. Okay. But next. And we get back to Jake's party. And he does notice Reg is selling product. And Jake approaches him And he approaches, so Jake approaches Reg, and then he trying to mess things up for him, and you know he is. And then he tells Reg he can't do that in here. And then you know how Reg be. You can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to do. And then they end up getting into a fight. And then he beat up Reg. And then Reg, he do get thrown down. And of course, he is three hot mad. And then, everything with Reg is always revenge, 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 revenge. And, I hope what I'm thinking that could happen don't happen. Because I don't want nothing to happen to Jake. I don't want nothing to happen to none of them. And then I don't want nothing to happen to Jake. I don't want nothing to happen to Papa. I don't want nothing to happen to Bakari. But the two that's got it on their head, to possibly have something to happen would mostly be Bakari because of who he, centered around Bakari. And then also Jake. So we get back to Tiffany and her mom. And Tiffany's mom says that she is raising him better than she raised Tiff. And her mom pretty much giving her props and saying that she doing a better job with EJ than she did with her. So Tiffany's mom is telling her that. And then, I mean, they just have a little heart to heart too. And it wasn't really nothing else that, between that situation and that scene that needed to be said. But I just got some positivity and positive light out of there, which I liked. Okay. And next. And then we get to Smitty and Nut. And he tells Nut that they need more security, right? Because he coming back to work for him and stuff like that. And then we get to our old character, season 2. And his name was Big Mike, right? And then Big Mike used to not work on the side of Reg. He used to work with Vic. Okay? He used to work with Vic. And then no, 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 not Vic. He used to work with Nook, and he gonna be Red security. Reg be doing shit like that and stuff. He be trying to get old people, just people, of course, to build him up and build his crew up. So Big Mike coming back, and he gonna be Red security. Well, hold on, Reg is going to be mad. My bad. He used to be with Reg. Okay? But he going over there to work with Nook. I'm sitting up here looking at the wrong stuff. So Big Mike gonna be working with Nook. And Reg gonna be mad like the child that he is. Okay? But oh damn well, Reg. Shit. Who gives a damn? And we get back to Keisha and Emmett and they talk about how she wants him to propose to her again. And he pretty much was telling her no because he already proposed to her. And the reason why she was saying that she think that the proposal will be good is because, the family dynamic and then they got the baby and stuff like that. And then the social worker pretty much was hinting, alluding to the fact that they gonna be a perfect good family and stuff like that. And she said to help. In her mind, she trying to help baby she trying to help Devontae and so he can stay out of trouble and so he can have a true family dynamic. And of course, Emmett looking at it a different way, like, I already proposed to you, but you didn't do it the right way, Emmett. Now, don't start that shit. You didn't do it the right way. Okay? And then he already said he was feeling like, now, back to Emmett. Emmett already was feeling like that he was gonna be, he wasn't gonna make it. But back to Keisha. She said that she declined his proposal, and the reason why she said she did is because she felt like that he was just proposing to her, and he ain't putting no empathy into it, and he wasn't serious about it. That's why she said no. Okay, my thoughts and everything. And then he said that he didn't propose. Like, he feels like, damn, I didn't propose once. That's all. I mean, I ain't finna do it no more. And then he says, you want to marry me now because of all the situations and all the stipulations that's happening. You want to marry me now. I'm like, yeah, nigga, she do. They'll be okay though. They will be okay. All right. Anyhow, next. And then we get to the judge from last season. The judge was Alicia's. Well, she was talking with Alicia a lot, and she was working with Alicia. Okay, she was working with Alicia last season before she got, pop by Rosalind. Okay. Ugh. But now she talking, Patience and the judge, they talking, and she tells her that she has very, very concrete evidence that'll help Vic and Shad. And I mean, mm, I see Rosalind, she finally gonna be going down, right? She gonna really be going down. Which it'll be just due because it's the last season and then they gotta, come out with a bang. But the last scene was Nook and Tiffany at the range, the gun range, and then Nook trying to teach Tiffany how to shoot. But anyhow, y'all, next, and thank you for listening to my early morning review of The Shy Season 8, Episode 2, White Russian. Okay. And I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And have a blessed day. And have a good Saturday morning. And I'm about to go ahead and cook me some breakfast and get back in the bed. All right. Like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube family to be a Jazzy fam member. Bye.